So guys, welcome back to Aqua FX here again. So today I'm going to show you how you can compound that little account. This is an example of the trade I dropped on my Telegram channel yesterday for my signal. So on this one trade, you can have 1:50, 1:40 RR. It depends on what you are looking at in this market. Let's say 1:50, 1:30. But if this trade of yesterday, you were to take this trade yesterday, you're supposed to have 1:50 RR of trade. This is to say, if you are risking 2% on your $100 account, you're supposed to make $100 in return just by risking 2% of that account. Note, I'm trading gold and I'm trading only gold because I've been taking out my time from this market to make sure that I master this very pair very well. Because gold is a pair that can easily gives you a lot of money that you want only if you are doing the right thing. And gold is this pair that can break you down if you are doing the wrong thing. So this very trade here was a trade I sent to my Telegram VIP. So but this trade happens to, you can see, this is why I said two entry. You enter two entry a day. One will be on the OB, the other will be on the imbalance. It depends on you. But for me, based on my breaks I took away from the market to study this pair very well, I can tell you how it moves. And your bigger time frame play a bigger role whenever you are trading this pair. You can just go to M15 or go to M to 1 minute and try to take a trade, but you can take an entry, but your losses will be very many. You have a lot of losses if you just want to jump into the market and trade on a 1 minute chart. Your losses will be a lot in the market. But for you to minimize this lot, you can go to daily, H4, H1, 2 hour, 3 hour, 30 minutes. It depends on you. Depends on the bigger time frame you choose to be yours, because each of us, we have the bigger time frames we play with. As for me, my own bigger time frame, it's not H4, but that doesn't mean I don't look H4. I do look H4, but my bigger time frame is not really the H4. So let me show you how this market plays out yesterday. Let me show you how it is. At times, if you have any question, that is where you do not understand, because most of times I don't think I'm going to disclose everything here, because if I'm to disclose everything, this video will be too long. So if you have any question to ask me, do well to ask. You can join my free Telegram channel using the link on the description of this video. If you are new to this channel, do well to subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for staying tuned on this channel. Sorry. So let's get straight to the chat. This is 1:58 RR trade, and this happened yesterday. First, for me to take this trade, I have to go to my bigger time frame, which happens to be my H4, and see where the market is. So this is yesterday trade result and what we are having today. I supposed to have dropped this video since, but network over here, it's really bad. So yesterday I sent this trade to my VIP, I sent this trade to my signal group. But what happened, this is it. I saw that this market was bearish on a bigger time frame. As you can see, this market is giving us, as you can see, this market is giving us, you can see a high was here and it broke structure to the downside, pulling back. It gave us another push back to the upside, it still came back again and break structure to the downside. As you can see, this market right here is bearish. So yesterday happens to be Monday. So on my H4, here was my OB. On my H4, here was my OB. But I don't really take trade based on this H4 OB. So I have to pull down to my M15. Note, there are criteria added together for me to take this trade. There was criteria added together before I can determine my entry in this market. So it's not just about trading based on H4 or so on. Even though you go to your 3-hour chart, you can also see that this market was bearish. The market has to give you a clear bear structure. So on my 3-hour chart, the market was still bear to the downside. If I'm to add my session breaks, which is you click on your candlestick twice, you click on events, and you enable your section breaks. This will help you to know the days you are in. So you see, this very one now that opens happens to be today. This very one is today. And since this market is bear, we are still expecting, since the market is bear, we are still expecting a bear structure, a bear movement in this market. So which is, once it's 8 o'clock, we start looking for whatever we are looking for, because that is London session. So we see that this market was bear. Even if we are using our 3-hour chart, the market was still bear to the downside using our 3-hour chart. So going down to our 2-hour chart, if you want to make something out from this market, you should learn to utilize all the tools in this market. Try your best to know what you are looking for and what you are not looking for. So on my 2-hour chart, the market is still telling us that it is bearish. So therefore, I move down to my M15. So once I move down to my M15, this is where my strategy comes in. As you can see, here was the OB that we marked. As you can see, this market tapped into this H4 OB, and then it gives us a breaks of market structure right here. It gives you a breaks of market structure right here. We don't need any wick, we need a candle closure. So that gives you a break of market structure. As that market gives you a break of market structure, if you want to trade it the general way of trading, this place here supposed to be your entry. But if you want to use the entire candle, here will be your entry. All this candle here will be your entry, because that is your M15 candle. So this M15 right here will be your entry. But as for me, I don't trade it that way. I have to use my sessions indicator. So my sessions indicator, I will only trade during London session. So there are things I will look into for me to really take this trade. Like I said, this was yesterday. So where will be my target? My target will be here, because there is a nice imbalance here. This here will be my target, or here. But because this market can close from here, there will be my target. So therefore, what happened during this trade? I sent my entry on this zone right here to my mentee, to my signal channel, similar group. That was where my entry was, because I had to move down to a smaller time frame to see the reasons why I should take this entry. So during my breaks, I've been observing what the market does. But on this very day, I did not have it in mind that the market would turn from here. So that is why you choose a pair you are to trade. Stick to one pair. That pair will give you an entry twice a day. You can take an entry from any market that you want to trade. You can take an entry twice a day. So what happened in this market is, instead of this very market to come into this zone, which I was expecting it to come in, no, it didn't come in. You can see that inside this OB, there was something in this OB. Inside this OB, there was something. And that happens to be this. After a break of this structure, I'm not hiding anything here. After a break of this structure, there was something, and that happens to be this imbalance. There was an imbalance. This is my M15. There is an imbalance right there. For those of you who don't know what an imbalance is, you can ask me question. So there was an imbalance right there. So this imbalance gives me an edge. An edge. If you were to take this trade, there are things you have to look for before you really take this trade. You will not just take this trade inside this imbalance blindly. Whenever we are taking trade inside this imbalance, we use two things. We use yes, we use two things. That is to say, we use two things. That is to say, we use a break of structure. All right. All right. Sorry for this, for the someone whom I sent to bring me food. He just delivered the food. Sorry. So this is to say, you will see there is a break of structure. That is, have to go to your smaller time frame and you scale out your imbalance right there. So once you go to your smaller time frame, you have to make use of your this tool here, which is your Fibonacci tool replacement. And you must also know how to use it whenever you want to sell the market, and you also have to know how to use it whenever you want to buy this market. So this is your imbalance. I turn into a smaller time frame, like 1 minute. And this is where I place my entry. I was making use of my I was making use of my FIP. My FIP. So after which I marked out what I was expecting with my FIP, I got the measurement that I wanted. So that was where I supposed to place this trade. Yesterday, I supposed to place this trade around here, around this zone is where I supposed to place this trade, around this zone. Then my stop loss has to come a bit, a bit. That is, if this market eventually come to that place, I'll get taken out. So, and I supposed to sell down from here. And only this one move will give me 1:50 RR, just like that. If the market doesn't give 1:50 RR, that is to say my measurement, I don't measure I'm not measure using the FIP. So that is why I'm having just 1:50. 1:50 is there. So I think because I don't measure the candle, that is why I don't have my expectation my expected RR. So that is 1:50 just by using your imbalance. And this is gold. This is gold chart, not other chart. This is gold chart. So if you want to know how I take trade using this scenario, yesterday was I did not really feel good on this trade because I was expecting it to come to this first zone, but it didn't. And instead of me to monitor this very area, to monitor it properly to see what the market does so I can be able to take this trade, I was still focusing on this market to come to this first zone. So that is to say, if you have $100 account and you choose to risk 1%, which is almost $2, or your 1% will be 1.60 something, $1.60 something cents. That is 1 point something dollar. But if you want to reach just $1 for you to make $50, then this strategy is for you. So you can join my free Telegram channel and see how you can go from here. You can ask me any questions if you don't understand. So with this market now, if you are to reach 3% per your if you want to risk 3% of your $100 account, you know that this will give you $150 just by risking 3%. So if you want to trade based on imbalance, you choose it wisely. If you want to trade based on OB, you choose it wisely. If you want to trade the two, then you should divide your risks. If you are to risk 3% a day, you divide your risks into 1.5, 1.5. You take a trade because the market may turn from the OB and your imbalance will be a loss. But if you are trading based on confirmations, like this very trade was taken based on confirmations, not blindly, then there are losses you will ignore and there are wins you will accumulate. So I've been studying this ever since I took a break from this market. So if you want to join our VIP channel, it's very cheap. It's very cheap. If you want to trade the way I trade, it's very cheap. It's very cheap. We don't charge much. If you want to join our signal group, it's very cheap, unlike before. Even if I right now I can offer more than I offered before, but I won't increase the price. I'll bring the price down so that every other person can acquire and everybody can eat from this market. So do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you are a new if you are new to this channel. Please do well to subscribe. If you're already a subscriber to this channel, thank you and keep supporting the channel. Learn if you learn something so far from this channel, you can share this channel to your loved ones so that they can learn what you learned so far. So I remain Aqua FX. I sign out. Peace. Do not forget your questions, and we are here for your questions. You can ask any question you wish to ask, or if you don't want to ask in the public group, if you want, you think you can't comment, or you think people will see you, then you can just contact me through my Telegram private chat or my channel. So I think I'll cross the curtain here. Let's see what the market will give us today, if we will see a good entry or we won't. So every day is not Christmas. If the market brings you opportunity, it's just for you to stand up every day and keep doing what you know how to do best. There are some days like this 1:50 RR. If you were to use a 5,000 or a $20,000 account and you reached 1%, 1% of your $5,000 account, that will be $500. And 1% of your $50,000 account, you do the math, you know what it is. And for you to have 1:50 RR, that is very huge for you. So the only thing you are to do in this market is for you to try your best to compound your account. So if you are to take your small account to you want to grow your small account like $100 to something maximum, something massive, this is a strategy for you. So we can do this over and over again. I can even show you the last entry that happens before this very one. So it is not something that just for you to put your head down and keep learning. So let me close the curtain here as I sign out. I remain Aqua FX. Peace.